guys, hey, and welcome back to the Gulf Coast Growth Show. I'm your host, Jason Lee. My co-host, Clint Aiken, is out today, but I'm joined by two great guests today, and we're here with JJ Barrera, the VP of Construction and Maintenance here in this region for Wood, and then also Stephen Kelman, the Director of Growth and Development. And now, if you don't know what Wood does, they are an engineering, consulting, and construction firm, globally based, originated in Scotland, but with a huge footprint here on the Southeast Corridor, all across this area. So we're going to talk, as you know, our show is centered around not only the economic development, but those vendors, those people that serve inside of this economy to keep the global engine moving. And Wood plays a big part of that. They have an office right down the street from us, one out in Freeport, one in LaPorte, I think you said. Right. So yeah, so they're kind of all over the place doing great work for us today. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the work that's taken place that they're doing, some of the growth that's taken place, learn a little bit more about some of the jobs, things that are coming up, and any big news that you guys have to share. So that jumping in, JJ, why don't you give us kind of a quick highlight of the key things that are important to you right now that Wood is focused on?
So we're focused on growing our footprint, keeping our employees safe, and delivering a very valuable service to our customers. We support our customers from all trade and craft positions in our specific group. Wood as a whole supports our customers from engineering to consulting, and really has a very diverse opportunity to help our customers with their needs. Here locally, we have about 1,200 folks in the area that I directly support.
Wow.
From the Houston Ship Channel down through Freeport, down through Corpus Christi, but really much of our work is right in here, right in this area.
Fantastic. And a lot of your work, is it behind the gates? Or
absolutely. Yeah. Most of our folks are behind the gates or in the plants, out in the oil fields. So they're all the above.
Yeah, and so I always like to remind our audience it's important that when you hear a number like 1,200 people that are in construction maintenance facilities that are behind the gates serving, not only those but those that are in the gates. We've looked into this and share this on a regular basis, but that's equivalent to about 7 service jobs here in our region. So when you think about that, you take 1,200 jobs, multiply that times 7, it's probably around 8,400 other service jobs from people that are doing daycare to serving in restaurants and stuff like that. So,
that's right.
So we can all thank Wood, right, for being able to stay out there and keeping those jobs humming here in our area. So thank you for that. JJ, talk to me a little bit about y'all's involvement in the Brazoria County Petrochemical Council. Yeah, not JJ. I'm sorry, Stephen. Yeah, I screwed that up.
No, absolutely. So one of the things for us as Wood that we're committed to is that future generation of the workforce. When you look at the oil field and the sectors that we serve, in the petrochemical refining piece, a lot of the workforce is aging. We all talk about the Great Resignation, the Great Retirement, and so for us as an organisation, we're continually looking at how we can develop that next generation. And one of the things that we're particularly proud of from our US South operations and Wood in general is, since its inception, the Brazoria County Petrochemical Council has what they call a signing day, which is very similar to like the NFL draft or anything like that, where
cool.
we'll select kids who go on to future education, come work at the site, and kind of sign to work for us on behalf of our clients. So we've been involved in that since it started, and we've seen a lot of great work from the community. And for us, that's really important is bringing that next generation through to continue to grow and expand in the region as well. So
fantastic. Rarely do I have somebody from Scotland on the show, so it's like I don't even want to talk after you're done. Like you're so much cooler. Just keep talking. Just switch seats. You can be in charge.
I can do that if you want.
Well, and to add to that, it's really nice when you see a kid come out of high school, mm-hmm. and many kids aren't going to go to college directly. There's a lot of opportunities, and I think over time as parents and we say, well, okay, you're going to go to college, you're going to have a professional career, and that's the path that many have pushed our kids towards, when you can be very successful and and have a good career working as a welder, as a pipe fitter, as an electrician, as an instrumentation tech. And really there's some great people in our organization, and there's others out there that have had great careers and have been very successful in just their whole life in those trades, coming up through those trades. So
fantastic.
It's important to us to promote the skills and trades, the trade and craft folks, into the business, and we need them. There's a lot of aging folks, like Stephen said, that are coming out of the workforce, and we got to bring the kids in to do that. And you know, with you know, some of the news and things, it's you know, coming into our industry may not be it's not politically correct maybe to go work at an oil refinery or a chemical plant, but there's great careers and lifelong careers and generational careers that can go through these facilities.
I love how you use the word generational careers because it's relevant. And one thing a lot of people forget inside of these facilities is all the work that's being done to help make and facilitate sustainability.
Yep,
and we won't dive into that today because it's not the topic of the show, but people, you know, there's this black eye, but it's not the truth. Like the truth is there's probably more money spent in this neck of the woods on sustainability, clean energy, trying to figure out how to balance. It's not this, but it's the energy, right, to everything that we need, because we need sustainable energy and oil to make a sustainable energy work. They both work hand in hand, and so you're spot on. And I actually had the chance to hear Jim McIngvale talk yesterday, and he talked about the ability to, his main thing was when we got done, he said, if there's anything I could tell you to do to make a difference, it's create more jobs. And not, by jobs meaning generational changing jobs, which is what you just described.
Right.
Speaking of the signing day, you mentioned that. I haven't seen it. Right, but I do think I'm going to plead now. Right, we need to get at the next signing day. We really need to get some cameras out there, and we need to make it a big deal. Right? Because that's what these kids need to be seeing on social media and stuff like that. Is this is a big deal. When you come out of school, getting a job is a big deal. And you can change your life. You can change your whole hereditary life for the next 5 generations just by getting out there.
That's right. That's right.
Amen. I love it. Talk to me about JJ about the company, kind of Wood's evolution over the last few years. I mean, how long have you guys been around? Just give us a kind of an overall footprint of like where you've come and where do you think you guys are going?
So the organization, Wood's been around for generations as well, but through acquisitions, sort of Mustang Engineering and AMEC Foster Wheeler, and then other organizations like us down in Freeport with the Heritage Infinity Group and Brazos M&E. So we've taken many different organizations, pulled them into one under one logo, under one name, and really have the capabilities from just full. If you're thinking about building a facility, and it's not just petrochemicals, it's many different things. We can help you through the permitting, design, economics of that, through design, and then build and maintain. And then if you're done, let's just say you have a plant and you want to decommission it, we can help you through that as well and get it back to where it was before it was even built. So full cycle of that facility or that thought from beginning to end. And then our specific group here locally that I oversee, we're the trade and craft. We're the guys that go and build and maintain and help our customers with those facilities.
Wow.
And so electricians, pipe fitters, welders, and those folks that really just get in and make it happen.
So you guys are essentially a cradle to grave construction company.
That's
from the build up to the shutdown, we can do it all.
That's right.
Fantastic.
And I think that's one of the things, to add to what JJ says there, Jason, is that's one of our differentiators, is that we can do kind of full end to end. And the other piece from our business in general, our consulting arm of the business is a real true differentiator for us, where if you've got a small scale study you want to do, if you've got some vibration problems, if you've got something that's maybe not quite right, we can bring them in, they can have a look at that, give us some recommendations, and they can come in on an as needed basis. So when you work with Wood, you get everything. You can have what you want. It's almost like we give a menu of choice, and you can choose which pieces you want at the time, and it really kind of helps us as well. So
fantastic! Wow. Now let's talk about big news or things that are happening in Wood. I know in this industry, safety, there's all kinds of different things that people don't realize are really important, but there's a lot of credentials and recognition that goes on for that. So talk to us a little bit about Wood, anything in the news about Wood lately.
Well, recently we were awarded the Houston Business Roundtable Best in Class for our category.
Oh, wow.
So compared against our peers, we've really kind of stepped up and stood out, and we're recognized. And that's recognized by our peers. It's not just somebody out there saying, oh, you guys are good, but it's our peers. They do, and they come in and evaluate our business, our processes, ask our folks in the field, how are things? Are you working safe? How do you keep each other safe? work through all those and then select from those that were nominated and pick the best, best of the best. And so we were in our category chosen best in class. And really the group, our folks in the field, our processes, I'd put us against anybody, but it's nice to be recognized by a third party and be nominated by our clients. We had ExxonMobil and Phillips 66 both nominate us to have the opportunity to get that award.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's massive.
It is.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Fantastic. Steve, now, giving back is always an important component, especially to culture. And I think our region and the organizations that serve in our region do a phenomenal job of giving back. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things that you guys are involved in.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Jason. I think, we touched on the kind of the Brazoria County Petrochemical Council. We're heavily involved there. In the last kind of 2 years, we've also been very heavily involved with the Brazoria High School program, where we've sponsored their solar car challenge, where, as a result of that, they built a solar powered car.
Oh, wow.
Which will be taken to Dallas later this summer to race against, other schools who have built it, and that's again, something about giving back to the local community, showing kind of what we've done there, which has been fantastic, and just seeing that kind of come along has been great, and we look forward to the actual event kind of later this summer.
That's pretty
We're
cool.
involved in a lot of local charities. We're represented on kind of ABC boards, the junior achievement boards in Brazoria County and other areas where we work. We support our clients and others in kind of various different, charitable events, through multiple United Way things, really helping the local community. And then, earlier this year, and we've done it for a number of years, is supporting some of the veterans events as well,
Nice.
Locally, and just kind of showing kind of that appreciation for what others have done to sacrifice for us and the region. So, we look at any charitable event, look to get involved and see what we can give back to the community, because at the end of the day, that's a core part of what we do, back to the sustainability that we talked about as an organization and working within that community as well. So
That's awesome. Fantastic. So, I ironically, right, if it's awesome that there's going to be a solar powered car. I'm sure that there's oil and gas that help make the solar powered car, which is always the thing we always want to highlight. There's probably a couple of pieces of plastic on that thing.
Oh, it's interesting, just the kids who are building it, you're watching them weld, or you're watching them do things that we do in the facilities.
Right.
Just so the skills that they're learning and the automation, the kids that are learning how to do the controllers and wire things together correctly. Those are the folks that we need in our industry.
I love it.
And yeah, there's the tires, all the electronic components, all those parts and pieces are supported by the industry.
Right. So it's just kind of like the circle of life. It's like they all have to work and be interconnected. That's the mission of the show, right? The mission of bringing you guys on board is so that perhaps someone could see it from a different perspective and say, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I understand this is needed to help push things along, not to just, you can't turn a switch on one day and just be without oil and gas. Well,
That's right.
You kind of did, or tried to. Now we're feeling the pain. But ideally, if we do it the right way, we can try to help. It's a blending of both. So,
That's right.
Now you guys have different walks, clearly, right? So I would love to. I think as we're talking about next generation, it's a great way to kind of transition into talking about maybe your career paths or some key things that led to your success. I mean, you're in charge of a huge, 1,200 people that are in construction and facilities. I mean, that's a big task. And then you're on the growth and development side. So we're talking about two different types of individuals that have two different career paths. So this is something that would be great. So if someone who's listening now, maybe you pass this on to somebody who's thinking about getting in the industry. So JJ, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of your experience and kind of what's led to your success?
No, I think one of the biggest components is just listening to others, trying to understand and truly understand, not just hear a sentence come out and say, okay, I know what they're talking about, but really take that, internalize that. Where is that person coming from? What is their perspective? And try to really understand what are they asking, what do they need, what's their problem. They may not know what their problem is if I'm helping them solve a problem, and it's up to me to help figure that out.
Yep.
And then just caring for people. You have to care for those around you. I lead the group, but really I support the group. Those folks in the field are turning the wrenches, getting dirty, working in the heat. And I always look at how can I support them? How can I help them with their career? How can I ensure that they have a career? It's up to us to go to negotiate contracts, win contracts, get things extended, when new contracts grow in the different areas. so that we can give them the opportunity to feed their family and be be good community members as well. So really, it's just how do you got to recognize that you're supporting others,
right?
And that's just I think it's core to who we need to be.
Fantastic, awesome. And then did you grow up in this space where did you start out at?
So grew up in South Texas. Grew up on just in the middle of nowhere down there. And my dad worked in the oil field. He was a military guy Air Force guy for 20 years, and then retired and went to go work in the industry. And so I've been in the industry, through directly or indirectly my whole life.
Oh wow! And
through college, worked summers in the oil fields, doing whatever I could. It might be mowing pipeline right-of-ways. It might be a welder's helper. But just getting that opportunity to understand. But my whole career has been in this industry.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Stephen, tell us a little bit about
sure. So,
what's led to your success.
No, absolutely. So, I mean, obviously, you recognise, from Scotland, not originally from these parts. So I'm a mechanical engineer by background. That's I went to college, studied that, started working for Wood in the North Sea. Supporting our offshore kind of business. Was there for a number of years, and then got the opportunity to move to Lafayette, Louisiana back in 2016 to support our Gulf of Mexico business. And then, lastly moved to Houston just prior to the pandemic. And at that time I kind of transitioned into the kind of business development, growth and development space within Wood. So, I mean, for me, my background is mechanical, then maintenance, operations, kind of my whole way through. So,
oh, wow.
I think, bringing a lot of that into and working closely with JJ and the team on, how we can identify those new opportunities to take some of the skills and the excellence that we as Wood have got from a maintenance standpoint and take that on site. And, for me personally, a couple of things that really kind of see is, those key things from learning and, kind of passing that on is, take every opportunity as a learning opportunity. Some things are not going to go well. I mean, that's just a fact of life. So you take that as that opportunity to learn and what could you do differently next time. For me also is never say no, and that comes back to that, taking those opportunities. Now, obviously there's within reason about never saying no, because you can't do everything, but certainly take that opportunity. And then, really, I mean, I know it's probably a little bit of a cliche in that, but really for me is use your network, a network to help. And I think, when you look at the size of the industry, it's a large industry, but it's also a small industry.
Right.
There's a lot of pieces that you might work with somebody today, and then 10 years down the line they're at a competitor or at one of your clients. So it's always having that network and those connections, because you never know where somebody's going to spring back up in the future to kind of help as well. So
it's funny that you said that. I was at breakfast with a guy yesterday, and he was in an oil field company, and he was saying that you talk about taking care of people or not being doing things the right way. So they were in a really cutthroat space, and him and his two competitors were all cutthroat, and they all got bought by the same company. So he had to walk into the office one day, and it's like all these guys that had been like stabbing each other in the back for 10 years are all like
they're going to be colleagues now.
Vice presidents together.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, this is weird. So maybe you don't need to go about that route.
That's
so
right.
Take care of your people. That's funny.
And many of our employees that used to work with us have gone to go work for our clients. Mm-hmm. So many of our past employees are now, we work for them as a service provider, because they've learned and got experience, and our customers recognize them as somebody to bring on themselves.
Oh, wow.
And so we've got many customers that used to work for us, especially down in the Freeport area and even up in here in the Ship Channel.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So always take care of people and
Always.
make sure you're doing things the right way, because it could come back to help you or haunt you, depending on how you do it.
Exactly, yeah.
So as we get ready to wrap up, guys, we're nearing close to the end of the show. Is there any additional things that you'd like to highlight, maybe some gratitude, anything that we left out that we might have missed? So JJ, I'll let you go first.
No, just as Wood, we're here in the industry. We're here to support our customers and the community. We can do that better with growth, with more employees. If we can get to 1,900 folks to 2,500 folks, then we can support the industry and our community that much more. Mm-hmm. I think just gratitude, just for my family being there for me, and my wife and two kids that support me and learn and always give me advice. So I always got to listen to them and make sure that I'm here for them and I'm here for the family. And,
awesome.
And I got to thank them for that.
Yeah, well, they're probably pretty lucky. So, Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I recognise I've been part of the Economic Alliance board since the start of this year, and for me, I think, organisations such as the Economic Alliance are massive for the industry, in terms of bringing people together, bringing that kind of piece, and shows like this about allowing us to kind of get our story out there, kind of who we are, what we're trying to do, and then just kind of using that to kind of connect with others in the industry, for me is a real kind of key thing. And as the industry changes, and we talked a little bit about sustainability and things start to go in different directions, it's about using that to kind of help us. So kind of for me that's it. And then on a personal level, obviously I've moved from Scotland to the US, and I kind of got thanks to the organisation for that, for allowing me the opportunity to come and live somewhere where the sun shines every day. Yeah. But no, I mean, it's been great, and I've taken a lot of learnings from that, and kind of, as I've said, every opportunity for me is something to learn from, and thankful for what it is, and look forward to seeing what's next as well. So
I feel like Steven's gonna, I feel like he probably feels that way 100% of the time, except for every August, and then he's like, what was I thinking?
I mean, to be fair, I say every year that I'm not going to complain about the heat. I'm not going to complain about the heat. I still complain, but then when it gets cold, I'm like, oh, we want the heat back. So it's kind of that vicious cycle.
Exactly. We're just preheating now, so the oven's just barely getting fired up. So give us about 30 days, and we'll be in full bake. So with that being said, man, I think you guys really highlighted great things. I think one of the things I love is getting guys who are actually in the field, in the space. A lot of times we have different folks, from legislative people to people that are at the very top of the organizations, all the way to people in other service organizations. But I think the truth, not the truth, but the real story always lies with the guys who wake up every day and put the shirts on, get in the trenches and do the work, and are right down there connecting at the field level and with the community, and that's you guys. So I want to appreciate you and thank you for that. So it takes a lot of commitment to go out there and serve everybody, serve your family, serve the community, and serve your employees every day. So thank you for that. As always, we want to thank you for joining us, our audience, here at the Economic Alliance, the Gulf Coast Growth Show. Please, again, as you know, we have a story to tell here in the Southeast Quarter. We have a wonderful region, a wonderful economic machine that we got to keep churning out jobs and opportunities. I think it could be the most significant thing we can do as human beings is create more for others, and that's what we intend to do every day with our organization, with the folks that we serve, and guys like this every single day. So we would ask that you pay this forward by passing this along to somebody that you know, somebody that needs to hear it, somebody that needs to hear the story of oil and gas. When someone's arguing on social media and they're telling the wrong story, just take a copy of this and drop it right there in the comments. Let them hear the truth, and we wanted them to be a part of that and know all the great things that are happening. You can always go to allianceportregion.com, and you can subscribe to any of our channels. You can just click right there. There's a subscription button under media. You go right there, and then you can subscribe, and you can get any updates from our show every week. And follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and any of the social media channels, and reach out directly to me through LinkedIn. We'd love to get some more guests on the show, so if you have somebody that needs to join us, make sure you reach out to me and we'll get them connected. So thank you as always, and we'll see you guys next week.